Welcome back. In the last episode, we were discussing on polygon surfaces and its representation. So today, I'm going to discuss on curve representation. So in computer graphics, we often need to draw different types of objects onto the screen, right? So objects are not flat all the time, but we need to draw curves many times to draw an object right. So we are going to represent how curves are drawn in three-dimensional. So there are different types of curves in 3D. A curve is an infinitely large set of points. Each point has two neighbors except endpoints. Curves can be broadly classified into three categories, that is explicit, implicit, and parametric curves. So first we'll discuss on implicit curves. So implicit curve representations define the set of points on a curve by employing a procedure that can test to see if a point is on the curve. So it can represent multi-valued curves, that is multiple values for an x value. So a common example in the implicit representation is the circle, that is x square plus y square minus r square is equal to 0, which can represent multiple values. So here usually an implicit curve is defined by an implicit function of the form f of xy equal to 0. Now we have the second category of curves, types of curves, that is explicit curves. So a mathematical function y is equal to f of x can be plotted as a curve. So explicit representation in general is general since it cannot represent vertical lines and is also single valued. That means for each value of x, only a single value of y is normally computed by the function. That is why we have given the mathematical function y is equal to f of x. Then we have the third one, that is parametric curves. So a two-dimensional parametric curve has the following form. P of t is equal to f of t comma g of t, or P of t equal to x of t comma y of t. Means curves having parametric form are called parametric curves. Here the explicit and implicit curve representation can only be used when the function is known. Right? We have to know the function first of all, then only we can represent in explicit and implicit curve, right? So here we have given P of t equal to f of t comma g of t, where the points f and g becomes the x comma y coordinates of any point on the curve, and the points are obtained when the parameter t is varied over a certain interval, that is closed interval a comma b. That will be normally closed interval 0 comma 1, where the value a will be assigned 0 and b will be assigned 1. Now next topic is we have to represent quadratic surfaces. So a frequently used class of objects are the quadratic surfaces, which are described with second degree equations, that is second degree quadratic equations. They include spheres, ellipsoids, etc. Quadratic surfaces, especially spheres and ellipses, are common elements of graphics scene drawing. So first we will move on to what is sphere. So in Cartesian coordinates, a spherical surface with radius r centered on the coordinate origin is defined as the set of points x comma y comma z that is satisfy the equation x square plus y square plus z square equal to r square. We can also describe the spherical surface in parametric form using latitude and longitude angles. That is x is equal to cos phi cos theta within the interval minus pi by 2 less than or equal to phi less than or equal to pi by 2, and y is equal to cos phi sin theta within the interval minus pi less than or equal to theta less than or equal to pi, and z is equal to r sin phi. This is formed from the figure of the parametric coordinate positions of r comma theta comma phi on the surface of a sphere with radius r. So this is how we represent a sphere in 3D. Now I'll move on to ellipse, that is known as ellipsoid. An ellipsoidal surface can be described as an extension of a spherical surface where the radii in three mutually perpendicular directions can have different values. See, we have three radius here, that is Rx, Ry and Rz. So the Cartesian representation for points over the surface of an ellipsoid centered on the origin is x by Rx whole square plus y by ry whole square plus z by rz whole square is equal to 1. Now we have the third category of representation, that is torus. So what is torus? A torus is a donut-shaped object. You have seen the sweet savory known as donut, right? So it can be generated by rotating a circle or other conic about a specified axis. So we are rotating a circle or a conic shape about a specified axis. This is how it looks like. This is the figure which shows it has been rotated to a specified axis. The second figure shows a torus with a circular cross section centered on the coordinate origin. So the Cartesian representation for points over the surface of a torus can be written in the form square bracket of r minus root of x by rx whole square plus y by ry whole square plus z by rz whole square is equal to 1. Okay. We can say that r is any given offset value and parameter representations for a torus are similar to those for an ellipse, except that angle phi here extends over 360 degree. Okay. So it is x is equal to rx into r plus cos phi cos theta, and y is equal to ry into r plus cos phi sin theta, and z is equal to rz sin phi. I have the next category of representation, that is spline representations. So a spline is a flexible strip used to produce a smooth curve through a designated set of points. So we'll be having a designated set of points through which we form a flexible strip of curve, that is known as spline. Several small weights are distributed along the length of the strip to hold it in position on the drafting table as the curve is drawn. Okay. The term spline curve originally referred to a curve drawn in this manner. How we are positioning it to hold on the drafting table as the curve is drawn. And mathematically described such a curve with a piecewise cubic polynomial function whose first and second derivatives are continuous across the various curve sections. So spline curve now refers to any composite curve formed with polynomial sections satisfying specified continuity conditions at the boundary of the pieces. A spline surface can be described with two sets of orthogonal spline curves. There are several different kinds of spline specifications that are used in graphics applications. Each individual specification simply refers to a particular type of polynomial with certain specified boundary conditions. So splines are used in actually graphic applications to design curve and surface shapes, to digitize drawings for computer storage, and to specify animation paths for the object for the camera in a scene. Typical CAD applications for splines include the design automobile bodies and aircraft, spacecraft surfaces, and ship hulls are represented using spline. So actually spline means we have to form a curve format in a scene or in a screen. So basically it is mostly applied in animation format. Now spline curve by giving a set of coordinate position called control points. So we are giving the coordinate positions as control points. While we give the control points only, we can draw a curve using these control points. That means which indicates the general shape. The control points indicates the general shape of the curve. So fitted with piecewise continuous parametric polynomial functions in one of two ways. First way is interpolation and second way is approximation. Let's see what is interpolation. Interpolation means polynomial sections are fitted so that the curve passes through each control point. resulting curve is said to interpolate the set of control points. So that means the curve passes through all the control points. That is known as interpolation. And interpolation curves are commonly used to digitize drawings or to specify animation paths. This is how interpolation looks like. See, the curve has touched all the control points, have passed through all the control points. Our next format is approximation. In approximation, the polynomials are fitted to the general control point path. Okay, it is fitted to the general control point path only without necessarily passing through any control point. The resulting curve is said to approximate the set of control points. See, the curve is formed with an approximation that the control points are being not touched but being passed through the path. So approximation curves are primarily used as design tools to structure object surfaces. So approximation spline surface is created for a design application. Straight lines connect the control point positions above the surface. This is how a approximation spline representation looks like. So this haven't touched any of the control points present in that, but it has formed a curve through the path of the control points. So this is a set of 6 control points approximated with piecewise continuous polynomial sections. Now we have a spline curve is defined, modified and manipulated with operations on the control points. With according to the control points only we can draw a spline curve. By interactively selecting spatial positions for the control point, designer can set up an initial curve. Okay. Designer can then reposition some or all of the control points to restructure the shape of the curve. The curve can be translated, rotated or scaled with the transformations applied to the control points. See, the points can be translated, rotated or scaled by using the 3D translation, rotation or scaling techniques. Now CAD packages can also insert extra control points to aid a designer in adjusting the curve shapes. So we can add extra control points whether the designer wants to change the shape of the curve. Our next topic is convex hull. Convex hull polygon boundary that encloses a set of control points is called the convex hull. So a convex polygon boundary that forms that encloses a set of control points is known as convex hull. Convex hull provides a measure for the deviation of a curve or surface from the region bounding the control points. So some splines are bounded by the convex hull, thus ensuring that the polynomials smoothly follow the control points without erratic oscillations. The polygon region inside the convex hull is useful in some algorithm as a clipping region. Okay. So this is how the convex hull looks like. This is the figure showing convex hull shapes. That is, the dashed lines are known as the convex hull for the 2 sets of control points. Okay, here on we have only 2 control points. See, this is the one control point and this is the another control point. So only these 2 control points, within these 2 control points we form a convex hull. Our next topic is control graph. Control graph, a polyline connecting the sequence of control points for an approximation spline is usually displayed to remind a designer of the control point ordering. Okay, so this set of connected line segments is often referred to as the control graph of the curve. Other names for the series of straight line sections connecting the control points in the order specified are control polygon and characteristic polygon. So this is how control graph shape looks like. The dashed line is known as the control graph shape for the 2 different sets of control points. So an approximation spline surface for a CAD application in automotive design is shown like this. This is actually a section of a car. That is why it is known as an automotive design. This is how an approximation spline surface looks like. Thank you so much. I hope you have understood today's episode.